Hello, friends. What if the biggest reason you're not making money in the market has nothing to do with your strategy? Think about that for a moment. Every day, thousands of traders stare at the same charts, study the same patterns, and react to the same price movements. Some walk away with confidence, while others leave frustrated, wondering what went wrong. The market didn't change between those two people. Their minds did. The truth is, most traders don't lose because they lack knowledge. They lose because they carry fear into every decision, hope into every losing trade, and doubt into every winning one. And until that invisible battle is won, no indicator, no setup, and no secret strategy will ever be enough. Imagine looking at a trade without fear of being wrong. Imagine following your plan without the urge to interfere. Imagine ending the day knowing that your emotions no longer control your decisions. That is the transformation this video is about. This is not a lesson about predicting the market. It's about rebuilding the person who faces the market every single day. In the first chapter, you'll discover why most traders are defeated long before they ever click the buy or sell button, and how hidden mental habits quietly shape every result. Then we'll uncover the one mindset that changes the way consistent traders see risk, uncertainty, and opportunity, allowing them to stay calm while everyone else is reacting emotionally. From there, you'll learn how to break free from the cycle of fear, hope, and emotional attachment, so your decisions become clear, disciplined, and intentional instead of impulsive. Finally, everything comes together in one powerful breakthrough that changes not just how you trade, but who you become every time you enter the market. Because lasting success begins the moment you stop trying to control the outcome and start mastering yourself. If you're ready to build that kind of mindset, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because every lesson here is designed to help you think differently, trade smarter, and grow stronger from the inside out. And make sure you stay with me until the final chapter, because the last lesson is the one that separates consistently profitable traders from everyone else. It's a shift so powerful that once you truly understand it, you'll never look at another trade the same way again. Chapter 1. Why most traders lose before they even enter a trade. Imagine two traders sitting in different parts of the world. They open the exact same chart. They see the same price movement. They even have the same trading strategy. A few hours later, one finishes the day with confidence while the other is left frustrated, blaming the market for another loss. What changed? Not the chart. Not the strategy. Not the market. The only difference was the mind making the decision. This is the first truth that most traders never fully accept. The market doesn't force you to make emotional decisions. It simply reveals the emotions that were already inside you. Think about your last losing trade. Was it really the loss that hurt? Or was it the fear of being wrong? Was it the money? Or was it the feeling that you had failed? These questions matter, because trading is never just about buying and selling. Every trade becomes a mirror. It reflects your patience, your discipline, your confidence, and even your self-worth. Here's something interesting. Most beginners believe they need more knowledge. They spend months searching for better indicators, more accurate signals, and secret strategies that promise higher win rates. Every new system feels like the missing piece. But after a while, the same pattern repeats. They hesitate before entering. They exit winning trades too early. They hold losing trades too long, hoping the market will come back. Then they start over, looking for another strategy. The cycle continues, not because the strategies are broken, because the thinking behind the decisions never changed. Picture someone standing in front of a mirror with a stain on their shirt. Instead of cleaning the shirt, they keep wiping the mirror. No matter how many times they clean the glass, the reflection never improves. Trading works the same way. The chart is the mirror. Your mind is the shirt. If fear, impatience, or the need to always be right controls your thinking, every chart will eventually expose it. The market has no emotions. It doesn't reward confidence. It doesn't punish insecurity. It simply moves. Everything else happens inside your own mind. This explains why some traders panic during small pullbacks, while others remain completely calm. The price may be identical, but the story each person tells themselves is completely different. One trader thinks, I'm about to lose everything. The other thinks, this is simply one moment in a long series of trades. The external event is the same. The internal interpretation changes everything. That is why successful trading begins long before the market opens. It begins with how you prepare your mind. Do you need certainty before taking action? Do you feel uncomfortable when you're wrong? Do you believe every trade must prove that you're a good trader? If the answer is yes, the market will keep finding ways to challenge those beliefs, because uncertainty isn't the enemy. It is the environment every trader chooses to enter. The moment you stop demanding certainty, something remarkable begins to happen. Your focus shifts away from trying to predict every move and toward making consistently disciplined decisions. You stop measuring success by a single trade and start measuring it by the quality of your process. That small shift changes everything, because confidence is no longer built on being right. It is built on doing the right thing again and again, regardless of the outcome. And that raises a deeper question. If the market isn't your greatest opponent, then who is? The answer to that question changes everything, and that's exactly where the next chapter begins. Chapter 2. The one mindset that separates consistent winners from everyone else. Most people believe successful traders have a special ability to predict the future. They don't. What separates them is something much quieter and far more powerful. They've made peace with uncertainty. At first, that sounds almost too simple, but think about it. Every time you hesitate before entering a trade, what are you really waiting for? You're waiting for certainty. Every time you move your stop loss farther away, hoping the market turns around, what are you trying to avoid? You're trying to avoid being wrong. Every time you close a winning trade too early because you're afraid the profit will disappear, what is controlling your decision? The need for certainty. Without realizing it, many traders spend every day fighting something that can never be defeated: the future. Imagine standing on the edge of the ocean. You cannot control the waves. You cannot ask them to become predictable. You cannot negotiate with the tide. But you can learn how to sail. Trading works exactly the same way. The market owes you nothing. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to reward your hard work. It simply offers possibilities. The moment you truly understand this, something inside you begins to change. You stop expecting every trade to be a winner. You stop taking losses personally. You stop believing that one bad trade defines your ability. Instead, you begin thinking like someone who understands probability. Picture a professional poker player. Before the cards are dealt, they already know something important. Even the best hand can lose, and sometimes the weakest hand wins. Does that stop them from making the correct decision? Not at all. Because they judge themselves by the quality of the decision, not by the result of a single hand. Professional traders think the same way. They know a perfect setup can fail. They know an average setup can succeed. That's why they never become emotionally attached to one outcome. Their confidence doesn't come from predicting the next move. It comes from trusting their process. Now consider the opposite mindset. A trader wins 3 trades in a row. Confidence turns into overconfidence. Rules begin to disappear. Risk gets larger. Then one unexpected loss wipes out days of progress. Another trader loses twice in a row. Fear takes over. They skip the next setup. Ironically, it becomes the biggest winner of the week. Notice the pattern. Neither trader was controlled by the market. Both were controlled by emotion. Consistent traders understand something that most people overlook. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to follow rules. It's about building a mind that no longer feels the need to break them. When you stop chasing certainty, patience becomes natural. When you stop fearing losses, discipline becomes easier. When you stop trying to prove yourself, confidence becomes quiet instead of loud. This is the mindset that transforms everything. It doesn't remove uncertainty. It removes your need to fight it. The market will always be unpredictable. Your response doesn't have to be. Every trade becomes one small piece of a much larger picture. One decision, one execution, one step forward. Nothing more, nothing less. And here's the surprising part. Accepting uncertainty is only the beginning. Even after you embrace it, another invisible force continues to influence every decision you make. It whispers when you enter too early. It convinces you to hold on just a little longer. It makes you believe that your emotions are protecting you, when in reality they're quietly sabotaging your results. Until you recognize that force, true consistency will always remain just out of reach. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in the next chapter. Chapter 3. How to think without fear, hope, or emotional attachment. Imagine driving a car while someone constantly grabs the steering wheel. Every time you speed up, they tell you to slow down. Every time you slow down, they tell you to speed up. No matter how skilled you are, the journey becomes chaotic. For many traders, that invisible passenger is emotion. Fear pulls the wheel one way, hope pulls it another. And before long, the trade is no longer being managed by logic. It's being managed by feelings. The strange part is that these emotions rarely announce themselves. Fear doesn't say, "I'm about to ruin your trade." It says, "Maybe wait a little longer." Hope doesn't say, "Ignore your trading plan." It whispers, "Give it one more chance." Doubt doesn't tell you to abandon your strategy. It simply asks, "What if this trade is different?" Those quiet thoughts seem harmless, but repeated over hundreds of trades, they shape an entire trading career. Think about the last time you ignored your own rules. You probably had a reason. Maybe the market looked unusually strong. Maybe you felt this opportunity was too good to miss. Maybe you convinced yourself that moving your stop loss just this once would save the trade. In that moment, your emotions sounded completely reasonable. That's why emotional decisions are so dangerous. They rarely feel emotional, they feel logical. Here's a simple picture. Imagine a pilot flying through thick clouds. The pilot can't trust what their eyes are telling them. Their senses may say the airplane is level when it's actually turning. If they rely on feelings instead of instruments, they can lose control within minutes. Professional pilots survive because they trust the system, not their emotions. Trading demands the same discipline. Your trading plan is your instrument panel. Your emotions are changing weather. The weather matters, but it should never control the flight. Now picture two traders facing the exact same losing trade. The first trader immediately thinks, "I need to make this money back." Without hesitation, they jump into another position, this time with even more risk. The second trader quietly closes the trade, records what happened in a journal, and walks away for a few minutes. Both experience the same loss, but only one allowed the loss to become part of their identity. This is where emotional attachment quietly enters. Many traders don't attach themselves to money, they attach themselves to being right. Every winning trade becomes proof that they're intelligent. Every losing trade feels like proof that they're not. That's an impossible way to trade, because the market doesn't measure your worth. It measures nothing at all. It simply presents opportunities. Your identity should never rise with your profits or fall with your losses. Instead, let it be built on something stronger: discipline, consistency, honesty, patience. These are qualities the market cannot take away. Here's something powerful to remember. The goal isn't to stop feeling emotions. You're human. Fear will appear. Hope will appear. Frustration will appear. The difference is that skilled traders notice those emotions without allowing them to make decisions. They observe. They pause. They return to the process. That pause may only last a few seconds, but those few seconds often separate a professional decision from an expensive mistake. Over time, something remarkable happens. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop chasing every opportunity. You begin waiting for the right one. And slowly, the market no longer feels like a battlefield. It becomes a place where discipline speaks louder than emotion. But even that isn't the final transformation, because mastering your emotions is only part of the journey. The greatest breakthrough comes when you stop asking, "Will this trade make me money?" and begin asking a completely different question, one that quietly shapes every consistently profitable trader and changes the meaning of success forever. That final shift is where everything you've learned finally comes together. Chapter 4. Becoming the Trader. Who trusts the process, not the outcome picture. An archer standing in complete silence. The target is far away. The wind keeps changing. Nothing guarantees that the arrow will land exactly where it's intended. Yet the archer doesn't spend every second worrying about the result. Their attention stays on their posture, their breathing, their focus, their release, because they understand a simple truth. The outcome is influenced by many things. The process is completely under their control. Trading follows the same principle. The moment you become obsessed with what the next trade will do, your attention leaves the only place where real power exists, your own actions. You begin forcing trades that aren't there. You hesitate when your setup finally appears. You increase risk after a winning streak because confidence turns into certainty, or you reduce risk after a losing streak because fear quietly replaces discipline. In every case, the process is abandoned in favor of chasing an outcome, and that's where consistency begins to disappear. Now imagine two traders finishing the same week. The first trader made money, the second trader lost money. Most people would immediately assume the first trader had the better week, but look closer. The profitable trader ignored risk limits, entered impulsively, and broke several rules. They simply got lucky. The losing trader followed every part of their trading plan, respected risk, accepted each loss calmly, and documented every decision for review. Who actually moved closer to long-term success? The answer surprises many people, because success is not built by rewarding lucky behavior. It is built by repeating disciplined behavior. Luck can produce profits for a day. Discipline produces results over years. This is the mindset that changes everything. You no longer wake up asking, "How much money can I make today?" Instead, you ask, "Can I execute my plan with complete honesty today?" That question removes unnecessary pressure. It shifts your attention from what you cannot control to what you can improve. And that's where real confidence is born. Not from winning, not from predicting, but from knowing you'll remain disciplined regardless of what happens next. Think about how different your trading would feel if every trade became nothing more than one carefully executed decision. No excitement, no panic, no desperation, just another opportunity to practice consistency. Ironically, this is when performance often improves, because emotional pressure stops interfering with clear thinking. The market hasn't changed. You have. Over time, you'll notice something remarkable. A losing trade no longer ruins your day. A winning trade no longer convinces you that you've mastered the market. Both become simple feedback. Both become teachers. Both help refine your process. This is where lasting confidence begins, not because you believe you'll always win, but because you know you can handle whatever comes next. And that confidence cannot be taken away by one bad trade or one difficult week. When your identity is connected to discipline instead of results, the emotional roller coaster finally begins to slow down. You become patient when others rush, calm when others panic, focused when others become distracted. The market is still uncertain, but your mind is no longer searching for certainty. It has found something far more valuable. Trust. Trust in your preparation. Trust in your rules. Trust in your ability to make the next good decision without needing to know the next outcome. In the end, consistently profitable traders are not defined by perfect predictions or endless winning streaks. They are defined by the quiet habit of showing up, following their process, accepting uncertainty, and protecting their discipline above everything else. Because the greatest edge in trading is never hidden inside the market. It is built inside the mind. The day you stop trying to control every result is the day you finally begin to control the only thing that has always mattered: yourself.